parking games are part of a subgenre of games I like to call turn your brain off games. And a lot of different actual gaming genres can belong to this, not just parking. It could be racing games, it could be hack and slash games, any type of game you can play without thinking. Like literally a game where you turn your brain off and just play and daydream and you can still function in the game. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to when I say turn your brain off games. And that's what I was expecting from Valet Parking 3D, but it's not exactly the type of game you can just turn your brain off. It's pretty tedious. I mean, this game is a simulation of having a really tedious job. It starts off pretty slow at first. You pick up a car, the guy who gets out tells you what parking spot number he wants it in, you park it, and then the guy comes back out of the restaurant or whorehouse or wherever he's going in a couple of minutes, and you get his car back, and he gives you, he pays for the parking space, and he also gives you a tip. And this seems fine at first, but then congestion happens. I mean, it starts to look like a Los Angeles freeway. There's just too many cars to keep track of, and you have to keep track of all the numbers. Not only the number where you're driving the car you're supposed to park to, but also the number you're supposed to pick up a car from. So there's two different numbers you have to keep in mind while you're playing at any one time. And of course, this constantly changes the second you pick up a car or the second you give the car back to the person. I was seriously flustered in the game a few minutes in. I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. They need to hire more people. One guy doing this whole thing, but you are compensated pretty well. For parking the cars and then taking them back, you're paid $25 to $50 plus tip, which is absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea how all these customers can afford that when they're basically all driving family sedans and SUVs from the 80s and 90s. I mean, I can't imagine these people are pulling in more than 30 grand a year, and yet they can just throw money away on parking willy-nilly. One thing that really helps you out in the parking is how fast the cars drive and how easy it is to maneuver them. These don't drive like the cars they look like. Like, you'll be driving in something that looks like Clark Griswold should be driving it, and yet it moves and goes as fast as a Formula One race car. If you want to play a simulation of someone who works at a really stressful dead-end job, well, this is right up your alley. This game, I guess, for what it is, gets a pretty good stanburdman rating of a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.